going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Uh, Wait until some people come in. I'm just chatting with you guys. Come on in, chat with me. What's going on, News Now, South Carolina? What's going on, El Jiffy? How's everybody going? So, I just want to say that today I was able to go out and do some audits with News Now, South Carolina. That's an awesome guy. He has a lot of knowledge, very well spoken, very articulate. Um, I respect him on many levels. He's taught me some stuff today that I didn't know, some stuff that I'm definitely going to be able to use going forward. So I appreciate him for everything that he was able to give me with and bless me with more knowledge. Um, Appreciate it. What's going on, David? How are you tonight? Like, if y'all guys got any questions, or anything, feel free to ask. I don't mind. Um, Whatever you guys want to say, I'm here. But give y'all a couple updates on like kind of what I have going on. So over the course of the last month since I did my first audit, um, I have done maybe 5 or 6 different agencies. I believe 3 different post offices. So it's been a learning experience. Um, just getting out here, letting everybody know who I am, everybody getting used to my way of auditing. Of course, David is great, always great with News Now, South Carolina. It's an awesome guy. News Now, East Tennessee's in here. What's going on? But like I said, it's just been a learning experience. It's just been like a totally new take on things for myself. So I'm able to express myself. I'm able to express my grievances. Able to uh, educate people at the same time. Yes, tomorrow will be epic. Not just great, not just wonderful, not just awesome. Tomorrow will be epic! Exclamation points. Yes, News Now, South Carolina is a down to earth person. Just as you see him in his audits, as he is on camera, he's the same way in person. Very well spoken, soft spoken. He's like a bundle of knowledge. Like, you couldn't ask for a better friend, a better mentor, a better role model, someone that's paving the way and you can, take nuances from him and go forth. He's the guy. So I received an email today. Someone was asking what's going on with the situation in Lawrence. I won't talk about it too much because I'm really here to talk to you guys tonight. But so basically, I went in to do an audit at what I thought was the courthouse. Come to find out, it was the sheriff's office. Um, the lady behind the desk jumped up, went and got a deputy. A deputy came out, grabbed me by the wrist, put me up against a counter slash window, um, searched inside of my pockets and my private regions and stuff, against my consent and my approval. And when I requested a supervisor, I waited nearly 46 minutes. No supervisor ever came, but I could hear them behind the window, um, stating that I was being a disturbance and I was disturbing the peace and providing um, a nuance to the people that work there. So myself and my attorney came to the conclusion that it'd be best that I leave to avoid being arrested. So I did. On yesterday, I went back to Lawrence. I filed several citizen complaints as well as several FOIA requests because I want to get the video footage from inside. I have filed a civil injunction against the officer as well as the department. That's not a lawsuit. It's just some specific paperwork in the civil process, basically making the officer identify himself because he never did, and different things. So That's where I stand at with Lawrence. As soon as I find out more, I'm gonna let you guys know. But that's pretty much where we stand at right now. I can't wait to meet you either, David. Thanks, Virgil. Um, yeah, I've been finding out that there are some really good auditors. There are some great auditors, and then there's some auditors that um, I guess you really don't call them an auditor. They're more like instigators, and some of them are just plain stupid, I guess. Um, but I try to be true to myself and to the person that I am at all times. So the person that you see right here and right now is the person that I am when I'm out auditing. And as long as I'm not disrespected the same way News Now is, if he's not disrespected, I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. So I'll try to be just, calm and collected at all times and just present you with the knowledge and the information that I know. And I don't want you to violate my rights. It's just that simple. Um, and until I encounter a problem, you have no problem. So I think a lot of auditors now just go into things and just see, if they can cause a problem, or some of them just, I think, don't think things thoroughly or think things through completely. And I don't knock them for being them, but at the same time, this is a process of educating people, and whether it's police officers or public officials or the general public, you know we still have to understand that it's an education process. It's not a it's not entertainment, I guess, as News Now South Carolina says. It's not entertainment, and I agree with them 100%. So my favorite five, definitely News Now South Carolina, James Freeman, um, California Guardian, um, Nick. I like Constitution Cowboy. He's kind of on the loud side, but he knows his stuff. I guess those would be my tops. Um, I'm not gonna write News Now Houston off. He has a lot of information. He has some stuff that's going on. Um, and like I always tell people, I don't judge people based off of what you've done or what you have going on currently. Um, if the allegations that are presented are true, that has no bearing on him relaying the information that he has and the knowledge he has. I still support um, his channel and his objective to get the rights to the people out. So News Now Houston's in there as well. News Now South Carolina, you still here? But you guys, I have to say, I am more than thankful for today. I had an opportunity to audit with News Now South Carolina, and when I tell you, I had a awesome day, filled with knowledge, filled with education, um, personal experiences, just the ability to chat with another auditor, someone that shares the same mission and goal that I do. Um, I couldn't ask for more. We hit a couple different places. We didn't really get any action. I'm slowly uploading a couple of the videos here and there, and you'll see it was a fairly quiet day. I don't know if News Now has scared them off or if they know who we are, but I'm sure Tomorrow is going to be completely different. Tomorrow is going to be a epic day. Tomorrow will be another collaboration with the two. Um, I'm not going to disclose where we're going to be, but we won't be in South Carolina. I can tell you that much. But tomorrow will be epic. You guys will see. Thank you, David. Thank you. That means a lot. Like I said, I try to maintain my calm, cool, collective demeanor at all times, and my goal is to simply relay knowledge and information. That's my goal. And I don't want anyone to tell me what I can't do when I know I can. And if you're gonna tell me that I can't do something, I want you to give me the opportunity to prove that I can. So, at the end of the day, it's a learning experience, and it's a process, and it goes both ways. If you're gonna be a man or woman enough to tell someone what they can't do, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. I think my YouTube has is glitching. Um, so I'm actually gonna be switching to a different device tomorrow. So hopefully that cuts it out. But yeah, like I was saying, David, I try to be professional and calm at all times. So yeah, I can't wait to see what we turn out to. Hopefully, you know, we both take this as far as we can, and we just really are in the process of educating people on their rights. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. Cena, thank you very much. Sorry I missed your comment a second ago, but thank you very much. Um, I'm glad that you enjoy my videos. I'm glad that you um, think that I'm very articulate, and I pride myself on being able to stay calm in situations where some people may either be fearful, intimidated, or get upset. But um, with my military background and being raised as the youngest of 15, intimidation is really not a factor in my life. And I have no reason to be fearful of anyone else, And the fact that I have News Now South Carolina as a teacher, a mentor, and a friend, I feel like, there's no reason for me to not be a great educator and not be scared. So, I thank y'all for the support. um, I'm still trying to get the subscribers um, and go from there. So, you know, we're going to have new videos coming. Uh, yes, Virgil. You're welcome, Cena. Thank you. So, me personally, my schedule is a little bit more relaxed than News Now South Carolina. So, I'm probably going to be giving you guys one or two videos a week. I'm not exactly sure about News Now South Carolina schedule, but I know for myself I'll be doing one or two videos a week. Sometimes I'll do more. What I typically like to do is do like multiple audits in a day. And I'm gonna attempt to stop going live so much and just record and then post the videos that way, because a lot of people aren't able to catch the live. So that's going to be my new approach. But definitely, if I have a interaction with a police officer or someone that I feel is hostile in nature or could potentially be dangerous or anything to that nature, I'm definitely going to go live. Yes, El Jeffy, I do travel. Um, I'm down for anywhere. You name it, I'm there. For those of you that don't know, I'm currently in school studying law. Um, so a lot of what I know comes from that, but I've also been in the media reporting field for a little over 10 years. So I'm pretty well versed when it comes to laws as far as freedom of the press, and laws of the citizens and laws of the land. So it's really just a process of, you know, learning about the individual cities and police departments and things of that nature. And that's what News Now South Carolina has been helping me out with, and he's been instrumental. That may be true. There may only be 4 people here. I'm not sure. Yes, constitutional law and civil rights law. Well, what is it, Dominic? Yeah, Dominic. Like I said, I'm new to this. This is my actual first live, just chatting with you guys. So I'm gonna get with someone after this live is over with, and they can kind of educate me on the process of how these notifications and things work. But I believe you have to first subscribe and then turn on the notifications so that you know when you go live. But I believe if you're not subscribed and you don't have the notifications turned on, I don't think you'll get it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that's the way it works. Am I right? Guys that have, my seasoned people in here, is that the way it works? You have to be subscribed first, and then you have to opt in to get the notifications in order to know when I'm live. I think that's the way it works. I'm not for sure. Okay. Yeah. So, Dominic, if you're not subscribed, first you need to subscribe, and then second, you need to click the icon that looks like a bell. I believe it's a red bell. Yep. Subscribe, then the bell. Yep. So that's the way it works. So, what's everyone up to tonight? This is just my time to talk to y'all. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. Um, I'm an open book. Gary Meacham, nothing much really, just a lot of police corruption. But there's a lot of good police here as well. So we want to make sure that we're continuously um, giving admiration to the good police officers, um, but we also want to make sure that we're putting light on the bad police officers and getting them out of the office. I believe an analogy that News Now South Carolina gave earlier today is that police officers go undercover to um, get drug dealers off of the street, and we do the same thing. I guess they call it undercover, to get bad police officers off of the street. So it goes both ways. We want to make sure that we're giving praise and thanks to the good officers, yet we're shining the light and getting those bad officers off the street. Oh wow. I'm gonna subscribe to your channel, Jeffy. I have to check out some of your videos. That's what's up, David. I just got done eating before I went live as well. I cooked dinner. Of course, Virgil, everyone should be transparent. But as we all know, um, we live in a world where everyone is their own person. Everyone has their own thought process, and quite frankly, everyone's different. So we have some people that are willing to be transparent, where some aren't. So I agree, Gary. It's important to educate the public, and that's the purpose of our audits. Our main purpose is to not get bad officers off of the street or to give praise to good officers, but it's to educate the people on the rights that they do have. Um, Now, in my personal case, my main focuses are the First, the Second, the Fourth, Fifth, and Eighth Amendments. Those are the ones that I mainly hit on. Um, if you guys had a chance to watch my video from Monday at the Lawrence County um, courthouse, which we actually thought, or I should say the detention center, we thought it was the courthouse, you'll see that not only were my rights violated, but there were definitely a multitude of policies from that department that were broken as well. So, um, you'll just be able to see what I kind of focus on. And for those of you that may say I went there with the intent to cause a disturbance or instigate the situation, that's not true at all. I simply went in there to take video, and I was actually getting ready to leave when the door came open. So that's where the situation went left. Thank you, News Now. Yes, everybody subscribe right now. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Yes, and I when I say I'm educated on the law, like I'm like educated in depth. So, I don't have a problem consenting to an officer's pat down. Even though an officer is supposed to have a reasonable suspicion that I have a weapon to do it, but I don't have a problem with it because I don't have a weapon. Um, it's just a simple fact that if I'm gonna allow you to do a pat down, don't go inside of my pockets. But what happened on Monday, the officer just reached out and grabbed my wrist and put me up against a counter and started going inside of my pockets against my consent and without the authority or the reasonable suspicion to do so. So it's a bit of a situation. Text, but yes, I agree. They do need to bring civics back in school. Um, they teach kids in school about the Constitution, but they don't go in depth about the Constitution. Um, I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the educational system that needs to be hit on, but they miss it. Yes, I agree, David. Thank you very much. I believe in the last week, I believe it is, I have increased. I think it was 530 subs. So again, I thank you guys for your submissions. I thank you for your time and watching the videos. I know the videos are kind of lengthy, especially the ones that are live. So that's why I'm gonna try to cut back on going live so often. That's what's up. 588. That's great. I thank you. Thank all of you for your subscriptions. Um, you guys let me know if you like the lengthy videos. I have no problem continue with the lengthy videos. If you like the shorter videos, let me know, and we can maybe alternate it out or something. Like I said, I typically only go live when there's an altercation with the officer or someone, or if I'm in an area that I know I'm probably gonna run into an issue, such as Monday. Yes, Gary, I agree as well. And again, it's kind of different for each state, so you kind of have to be state specific as far as identification laws when it comes to a traffic stop. But for the most part, I agree. The passenger isn't the driver. He wasn't part of the reason for the infraction, the reason the officer pulled the vehicle over. There's no reason the officer should be asking for his identification, unless they believe that everyone inside the vehicle has participated in a crime, which 9 times out of 10 isn't the case. All right, cool, Verge. Thank you. Well, if you guys like the question and answer, then I'm willing to do a question and answer once a week as well. Like I said, if you have legal questions um, that I know the answer to, and I'm positive of my answer, I'm willing to answer those as well. Um, Mostly questions that pertain to South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia law. If it's somewhere outside of that area, I can research the answer for you. But for those states, I'm pretty well versed on the law. Yes. Um, well, we actually, I don't know if it was more so. I guess it was backup. I guess you could call it backup. He's just like he's like my brother. So, you know, if I fall short somewhere, he's got me, and if he falls short, I got him too. And like we said, tomorrow's gonna be an epic day. We're gonna be collabing again tomorrow, at an undisclosed location, and it's gonna be just epic. I don't know any other word to describe what you guys are gonna experience, but it's going to be epic. Of course, anyone else that's watching and would like to come out and just stand behind us, and watch and observe, or come out with a camera and audit with us, email me or email News Now, and we'll get together. I have no problem with it at all. More people, the better. Right, Epic Friday. Yes, you gotta stay tuned. Got to stay tuned. How's it going, Vicky? Yeah, like I said, anybody that's wanting to stand in support, wanting to come out and just support us, stand behind us, and videotape or whatever the case may be, just let me know. I'm more than open to it. Well, first of all, Gary, my main objective is to educate the public on the rights that they have under the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Second, it is to educate people that are public officials or public servants in the course of their duties on what they can and cannot do as far as the rights and restrictions of people that are free to go. Um, Whether it's the first, second, third, whatever amendment it is, all rights are equal rights. So that's the case. If I happen to come across a police officer that is infringing on my rights or anyone else's rights, I'm going to stand up for it. And I'm going to educate that officer, that public servant, or, security guard, or whoever it is. Of course, David, of course. Um, Vicky, yes, I did do an audit at the police department. If you go back and look at my channel, that is the very, very first audit that I did was the Greenwood City Police Department. James Barnes, what's up? Thank you, Gary. Yeah, I had absolutely no issues whatsoever with the city police department. Went in, got video and records in different places, and I left. No issues whatsoever. Gary, I cannot make that promise on the post office. I cannot. Um, if and that's a good topic. Is that not all police? Text, but I don't understand what your question is. But I have not done all police departments, if that's what you're asking. I've done police departments, sheriff's offices, post offices, government contract buildings, um, and somewhere else, airports, TSA, and somewhere else, fire departments, and some other type of building. I can't remember. I just do, whatever pops into my mind at that time. But Gary, I cannot promise you the post office, but since you hit on that, for you guys that have not watched the video about the post office, so I actually went in and did an audit at the post office in Greenwood, South Carolina. So, like literally, like 3 or 4 steps in, I had a person yelling, telling me I couldn't be there. So I'm telling him, hey, I can be here. It's a public lobby. He says I don't want to hear it. Blah blah blah. Um, a lady comes out and tries to forcefully remove me from the premises. They turn the lights off and the camera just goes stupid, like dead, completely black. I can't get the camera to recover, so I have to end the video and go outside, and then it comes back on. By the time I get back in, she's turned the lights off, she's closed the cages up, she's pulled all the patrons to the back. They said that I was acting in a demeanor that they thought was suspicious, and they considered it to be terroristic. So they called the police department. I got the police department. They said that I was within every right, that everything I was doing was right, and they talked with her. I pursued pressing charges against the lady for the assault. But of course, the post office says that their video feed is live. They don't have any way of going back to look at what actually happened. So I'm in the process of FOIA requesting that video footage. So that's where we are at this time. Of course, James, of course. But, they're not going to stop, melting because of a camera, but, normally those that freak out over cameras are the tyrants. But, it is what it is. It is. They'll either melt, or either they'll learn to, stay in the freezer, one of the two. I agree. I agree. A lot of the real violations do come from the officers on the street. So myself, I do cop watching. I do cop blocking. I do traffic stop educations. Whatever the case may be, I try to get the information out. If I see someone outside of my house, and the police officer have them pulled over, I will go out there and I'll watch. I'll make sure that the police aren't doing anything unconstitutional. I'll make sure that their traffic stop isn't longer than it needs to be. That whatever I can do to help out and educate, I do it. Um, if I hear some calls over the radio, I respond to those too, just to see how the police handle different situations. Yeah, blah. Oh, I know you were, Gary. It's cool. What's I think someone asked, what do I think of the thin blue line? Um, the thin blue line is kind of like, and I don't know. I really haven't really looked into it much, but the thin blue line is basically a spin-off of the American flag. They've taken the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the authority of the police department, and they've overwritten the rules of the land so that it only pertains to themselves. So this thin blue line is their way of saying, "Hey, we're above the law of the land." That's how I look at it. I believe it's a symbol of tyranny, and it should be unconstitutional. For those people that aren't aware, that if you take an American flag and fly it upside down, that means that the country is in duress, and you can actually be arrested for that under federal law. And I believe the same thing should apply to the thin blue line. Yes, people that don't like to be videoed, they will always protest as well. And of course, we don't really care if they're in public. Of course, if they nicely ask me, I typically won't do it. But If they work in public, it is what it is. If I choose to, I choose to. If I don't, I don't. James, thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I've watched that video as well, and you know, you really get into you know, you get into the legalities of it, into the legal aspect of how the policy is written, because it says you can be in foyers, corridors, um, I think lobbies and auditoriums. So, what constitutes a lobby? That basically is what it will boil down to. If they say that it's a store, how do we know it's a store? Normally, a store is where you pick up an item and you make a purchase. But yet, you're coming in there, you walk up to a counter where you receive a service. That would constitute a lobby or a waiting area rather than a store. So, that's where the argument would come from. What do I think of back the blue? Um, well, I don't back the blue. Um, I do back good, lawful policing, but I do not back the blue. And the reason I say that is because when they say back the blue, they mean, do you support their gang mentality? No, I don't. I support good policing, community policing, educated police that are doing the proper things under the proper protocol, guidance, and policy. So I back police. I believe in good policing, but I do not back the blue. I agree. Right. Us coming in there is our own form of security. And most of the time you go into a place, they have about like 6 or 7 cameras pointed at you. Right, they don't want that one camera in there. It's crazy. Yes, that's true. Um, so here in South Carolina, the Supreme Court ruling actually came down in 2000 that says you cannot videotape inside of a courtroom. Now, in conjunction with that, they've used what they called a time, place, and manner restriction, which basically means that the attorney or the enforcing entity can adjust the law so that they can prevent you from taking cameras or phones or things into certain areas or during certain times. So when you have a time, manner, and place restriction, it cannot go outside of the realm of the Constitution. So it has to be constitutional as well as the time, manner, and place restriction so that they meet in the middle. So when you go to a lot of places and they say, hey, you can't take your cell phone in here, but you can take it here, and the ruling only says the courtroom. So that's still a violation of your First Amendment rights because they can't restrict you from having your camera there just because they want to place a restriction on it. Um, for instance, in Greenwood, you can have your cell phone downstairs at the courthouse, but you can't have it upstairs. When you walk up the stairs, you're not walking into the courtroom. So it's outside of the scope of the law. The law says the restriction applies to inside of the courtroom, but they will tell you that it's a time, manner, and place restriction because they have people that walk from certain courtrooms across the atrium upstairs. So it's something that I'm in the process of fighting here in Greenwood, and I've been working on it. Right. I agree, James. It just, like I said, it simply boils down to these people have been able to get away with treasonous actions, unjust actions, and criminal actions under the letter of the law, and no one's been holding them accountable. Now that people are aware of their rights and people are holding them accountable, they're coming up with laws and policies and rules and gap hole placements, as some places call them, to prevent you from filming and recording them committing these acts of treason and injustice. And at the end of the day, it comes down to people being educated and people willing to stand up against it. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose those rights altogether. Text, are you asking where did I find the policy? If you actually look up cell phone and courthouse in South Carolina, it should pull up. It's a Supreme Court ruling. I want to say it was from May of 2000, for all South Carolina courtrooms, that state you cannot have a cell phone or a recording device inside the courtroom unless you're a member of the media, and then it has to be approved by the presiding judge prior to the court proceedings. I agree, Chuck Derby. I agree. Um, the movement is growing. There's not many people that are actually auditing, but there are a lot of people that are aware that their rights are being infringed upon, and they're willing to speak out about it. As you guys can see, Fighting Injustice Together. This is a social, civic organization that I work with in the state. I've been with this organization now about 8 years, and we take on cases that regular citizens call us and say, "Hey, the police did this, or police did that, or a courthouse didn't allow me this, or whatever the case may be." And I move forward with the organization and trying to get them some type of justice as well. So I don't just do auditing. I work in pretty much any aspect of the law or the legal area that the need or concern is. I try to help as many people as possible. So if you know anyone that has a concern or a case that's not being handled properly or anything, feel free to ask me. I'm willing to give you whatever insight I have or behind the organization, help you out in its entirety. Yes, of course, James. They just simply don't care. And people are so scared and so set in their ways that they're not willing to speak out about it. And it's gonna take a lot more people than us to get change out there. But it's a great start for what we have and who we have. We're paving the road to a lot of changes. And like I always tell people, whether I'm changing one police officer at a time, one department at a time, or whatever the case is, every change counts. Sherwood Tidwell, what's going on? Sherwood, all over the state, all over. Sounds like a plan, Gary. Um, guys, I am going to get ready. You're in Columbia. Okay. Well, Sherwood, I'm gonna put my email in the comments at the end of the video. Shoot me an email, and we can get together sometime for an audit or something, or if you want to tag along. Thanks, James. I'm gonna try. So, guys, I'm gonna end the video, or end the live rather. I had an awesome time chatting with y'all. Again, I had a absolutely awesome time today auditing with News Now South Carolina. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the feed and handle some other business. I got a lot of paperwork and stuff I've got to get done. Again, tomorrow gonna be our auditing again with News Now South Carolina, and tomorrow is gonna be epic, epic, epic. Everyone have a great night. I promise you I'll be safe, and I will see y'all tomorrow. So